For centuries, whispers have echoed through the valleys of the Himalayas. Whispers of a warrior, a god, a legend, Parashurama. He was a figure of immense power, armed with 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 power, armed. Dr. Anya Sharma, a renowned archaeologist specializing in ancient weaponry, led the expedition. What began as a search for evidence of early settlements quickly turned into something far more extraordinary. We were digging near what we believed was an ancient temple site. The energy in the air was palpable. Then we hit something solid. I initially thought it was a large rock, but the deeper we dug, the clearer it became. This was no or 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 this. Parashurama, the sixth avatar of Vishnu, is a figure shrouded in myth. Born a Brahmin, he was driven to become a warrior after witnessing the injustice and corruption of the Kshatriya rulers. Armed with his divine axe given to him by Shiva himself, he vowed to rid the world of tyranny. Legends say he single-handedly defeated entire armies, carving a path of justice across the land. While many dismiss Parashurama as mere legend, his stories are deeply ingrained in the cultural fabric of India. Temples dedicated to him still stand, and his name is invoked in prayers and rituals. But the existence of his axe, his most potent symbol, remained only a myth until now. The axe was transported to a secure facility for analysis. Scientists from around the world flocked to examine its properties. The results were astonishing. The metal, dubbed Devatha, meaning divine metal, by the research team, exhibited properties that defied the known laws of physics. The atomic structure, it's impossible. It's like nothing we've ever seen. It's incredibly dense, incredibly strong, and it seems to resonate with some kind of energy. An energy we can't explain. Further analysis revealed that the axe was far older than initially suspected. Carbon dating placed its origin at least 10,000 Dr. Lakshmi Patel, a renowned linguist specializing in ancient Indian languages, was tasked with deciphering the symbols etched onto the axe. What she found sent shivers down her spine. The symbols are a complex mix of archaic Sanskrit and an unknown language. They speak of power, of destruction, and of a responsibility to wield this weapon with utmost care. They also warn of a time when the axe might need to be used again. During one of the tests, the axe emitted a sudden burst of energy, disrupting electrical equipment and causing a brief blackout in the facility. Some believe this was a sign, a warning of the weapon's latent power. The discovery of Parashurama's axe sparked a global debate. Some hailed it as a monumental archaeological find, a window into a lost civilization. Others feared its potential, seeing it as a dangerous weapon that could fall into the wrong hands. Governments and religious organizations vied for control of the artifact. The question on everyone's mind was, what should be done with this ancient weapon? Should it be displayed in a museum, studied in a lab, or kept hidden away from the world? The ethical implications were staggering. Then one night the axe vanished. Security footage showed a lone intruder bypassing the facility's defenses with ease. The world was left wondering, who took it and what were their intentions? Some believe the axe was stolen by a secret society dedicated to preserving ancient knowledge. Others suspect a rogue nation seeking to weaponize its power. The truth remains shrouded in mystery. The disappearance of Parashurama's axe leaves us with more questions than answers. Was it a relic of a bygone era, or a harbinger of things to come? Was its purpose destruction, or the preservation of cosmic balance? Could it be a weapon of divine justice, or a symbol of humanity's destructive potential? The answers, it seems, lie buried in the depths of time. The legend of Parashurama lives on, etched in the stories and traditions of India. The axe, whether real or imagined, serves as a reminder of the power of belief, the allure of the unknown, and the enduring mysteries that lie hidden within the heart of the world. And the question remains, if the axe resurfaces, will we be ready for the power it holds? Or want to learn more about Parashurama, ancient weaponry, and unexplained mysteries? Visit these websites and read these books to continue your exploration. Websites: Links to relevant Wikipedia pages, archaeological organizations and mythology resources books. Titles of relevant books on Indian mythology, archaeology, and the history of weapons. Organization. Links to reputable organizations. Consider. Mention the possibility of visiting India to explore these stories. Find all the resource lists in the description, and we like to invite you to join the Portal of Shadows to get unlimited fun and thrill. Let's dive in. Subscribe the channel to get notified for the new uploads.